Blanch it, peel it, core it, blend it till it's smooth and glossy. Spank your tomato, spank it till it's saucy. Cook it long and cook it hot, do the spanking thing. More you spank your mater, the more your body sings. Spank the tomato, spank the tomato, spank the tomato.
Super simple twice baked potatoes. What I did was clean my potatoes really good, punctured them about 3 times on each side with a sharp knife, stuck them in the oven for 45 minutes at 350 degrees, and then after they cooled for a little bit, I scooped them out. Really easy to do. You don't have to completely scoop them, just get most of the inner meat out of the potato. That's simple. And then I actually wound up doing a lot of pre-prep last night because for our Christmas dinner, I just didn't want a day packed with nothing but cooking and cleaning. So got as much pre-prepping done the day before as I could. This is a wonderful dish for that. So now we're going to add our, got 2 cups of half and half here. Going to add, okay, make that 1 cup. I haven't done these for a while. And 1 tablespoon, I have Dijon mustard. And what I did was I added honey to it to get it to the sweetness that I wanted. And we've got 1 teaspoon that we're adding to the mix here. 3 different kinds of cheese. We've got smoked Gouda, sharp white cheddar, and Parmesan. And if you don't have one of these, you need one. You don't know it yet, but you need one. Call it the Whiz Bang. So awesome. What about a teaspoon of salt in this? Don't need a whole lot of salt because cheese has salt in it too. So you don't want to overdo it. And 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of fresh ground pepper. So a great way if you don't have a piping kit, which we do, I just don't feel like getting it out and using it right now. Getting it dirty and having to clean it for the deviled egg. You just get your gallon Ziploc bag and put all your filling in it. Squeeze all the air out of your bag and then zip it up. And we're going to cut the corner. That looks about good. Okay, now we're going to layer this. Okay. Now you're just going to slowly squeeze your mix over the cheese. Hopefully your potatoes stay upright. touch there. There we go. You're going to stick it in the oven at 350 degrees for probably about 20 minutes until the cheese is melted and the top is golden brown.
Spank the bell, smack the like, comment on our spanking ways. All our spanking videos will keep you fed for days. Spank the tomato, spank the tomato, spank the tomato.
Deviled eggs. We got most of this prepped last night, which was nice. Prepped it, threw it in the fridge, and just finishing up this morning. So I didn't have to do all the work in one day. Just want to boil your eggs for, hard boil for about 15 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. If they break and the white starts leaking out, that's a really good indicator that they're done. Take one out, run it under cold water, break the shell, and cut into it to make sure that the center is done. You want the centers done. Then, when they're done boiling, you're going to take them, run them under cold water, and then just gently crack the shell on a hard surface, kind of roll it a little bit, and peel the eggshell off. I find the eggshell peels much, much better when it goes straight from the boil to cold water. Ice water would even be better, and the shell just peels right off. I am a huge fan of Miracle Whip, which haven't had it for about a year now because I have found substitutes for it. Today we're going to make our own Miracle Whip like dressing using yogurt. I've got about 1 cup of yogurt here, and I'm going to add a teaspoon. Let's see. Come on. 1 teaspoon of, I purchased Dijon mustard. I haven't made my own mustard yet. That's coming up real soon though. But I mixed honey in with it to take away from the saltiness so much, make it just a little bit sweet. Do it to taste. Put in 1 teaspoon of that into your plain yogurt. Okay, 1 tablespoon of honey so far. Gonna mix it and test it. Yep, pretty much Miracle Whip. Perfect.
Is it better for you than Miracle Whip? Better ingredients?
Got a lot less ingredients in it than Miracle Whip does. Like basic stuff. You're gonna mix this in with your egg middles, your yolks. And whiz bang it. Again, we are doing the gallon Ziploc bag, and I'm going to start with a little hole. And push my little decorative piping thing. I want the bag to be tight around it, so hopefully we don't get...
So your piping thing there is a nozzle with a pattern design on it?
It has a pattern on it.
Okay. Standard baking kit nozzle?
Yeah. I don't know where the piping bag is, so I'm doing a cheat, but I don't want the egg leaking around it, so I'm trying to make it nice and tight.
Doing a rubber band or anything?
There we go. No, we're good. Check that out. Check that out. That is so awesome. Okay, can you hold this, please? Something I found with doing my eggs the night before, I didn't even think about this, but I got almost all of them done except for the one that I just showed you, and I just shoved them in a bowl, and they were still warm, and so they kind of conformed to each other. The funky looking eggs that you see right now are because they chilled that way in the refrigerator, unfortunately. So if you want really pretty egg-formed eggs, lay them on something flat and cover in your fridge. Take this, please. Thank you. Okay. Squeezing the air out. And let's see if this works. We're just going to fill them. That went better in my head. So what I could probably do, if I had the patience, is put this back in the refrigerator and let it set up again for about 10 minutes, 15 minutes. But I'm here now, so we're just going to get them done now. Oh, making a mess everywhere. You ain't making a mess, you ain't having fun. So, smoked paprika for color. That's a little bit of flavor, but just, you just want to hit it lightly. Don't do too much, like I'm doing a bad job right now. You have a shaker, an extra shaker around, that's probably what you want to use. Okay, you'll see it'll be all pretty once I get them out of the fridge. I'm going to put them in the fridge for now till company's ready to show up, and then take them out and put them on a nice pretty plate. I'll show you a picture.
Hi chefs, today I'm going to show you how I prepare my standing rib roast. I've done rib roasts before, but never one this size. It's a 4-bone off the small end, which was a little bit cheaper, and I ordered the roast for the 6 or 7 people I'm having over for Christmas dinner. Some considerations for your roast are, of course, how many people you're going to feed, the spices that you want to use, and how you want your roast flavored. There are many different spices to use. I got some steak spices from a restaurant in Seattle that I really like, which is like salt, pepper, garlic, and a couple other secret ingredients. I have a $15 spice grinder here with a ceramic burr in it, which I'm going to further grind the spices down and get them into more of a finer state, and then I'm going to pack those on the roast. I also have some Italian seasoning. This happens to be herbes de Provence, which is French salad seasoning, but it works very well with any steak or roast like this that you're going to slow cook. With our roast, we're going to preheat the oven to 500 degrees and put it in for 30 minutes, just like the butcher told me to do, because he had just done one the day before. So I'm going to go do that right now and get my oven ready.
No.
Okay, for our roast, we put it in the refrigerator overnight with some spices on it, but we're going to re-spice it again and just show you how I pack the spices on. One thing to do with your roast, the butcher let me know before I left, was take it out of the refrigerator for at least an hour to allow it to warm up to room temperature. It cooks better that way, very important step. So here we go. Grind some spices for the outside of the roast. So with this dry rub, I'm going to pack it around the outside of the roast, but you also want to do that ahead of time and let it sit in the refrigerator for as long as up to overnight, and let those spices soak into the outside of the roast. It's all about the flavors at this point. and we're going to be putting our roast in the oven in a roasting pan, and we're going to catch all the juices. So with those leftover bones and juices, we can make a broth, or we can make a gravy, which, who doesn't like gravy?
Set the
Okay.
stuff on top of the
Here is
pan.
our ground spices. We'll just tap those on around the outside liberally and start packing them on.
Set things on the
Okay.
please.
Got those on. Pushing them in. And we're going to season all sides. And the best place to get your meat is, of course, from your local butcher. If you don't have one, then the grocery store would be your secondary. This is a grass-fed beef. I know where it came from. Minimal, if no hormones or antibiotics. Grass-fed all the way. I like a lot of spices, so I don't mind packing this thing full all the way around, and I did it twice. Some people even season it when it comes out of the smoker, which is going to be our step after the oven. At 30 minutes at 500 degrees, it will go straight into the smoker for smoky flavor for 3 hours. And that also instructions came from the butcher. And the flavors are awesome coming off of this roast.
Yep. That's the shiz right there.
Okay, so that's what you're looking at. Italian seasoning, salt, pepper, and garlic, basically, and that works well. Into the pan, all the spices. Waste nothing.
And
Okay, chef.
action.
And we have the roast out of the oven. 30 minutes at 500 degrees to get a really nice crust going on the outside and help bake in all those herb flavors. We did it in the pan just like we said for all those juices, and there it is, getting ready for the smoker. We're going at 225 for 3 hours. This is a almost 4.5 pound roast, so that should be just about right for getting her done. And away we go to the smoker. Stay tuned for a flavor report.
Spank it, squeeze it, fry it, there really is no limit. The menu is wide open, just get that mater in it. And spank the tomato, spank the tomato, spank the tomato. Yeah, 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 yeah. Spank that thing.